Did you watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or did you watch Tommy and the Rangers? Next up on Just to Talk, so let's talk about it. And welcome to the Flicks, Picks, and the Nitpicks, and I am your humble host, Snowy, so we'll get right to it. Did you watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or did you watch Tommy and the Rangers? And this is the question I wanted to ask, because I just recorded it Just to Talk, talking about talking about whether or not was JDF the greatest ranger of all time, or really being funny saying he wasn't, right? Really? And that was the thing, because I came across an excellent video montage commemorating JDF's lineage as a Power Ranger, and the guy that posted up, and he had a great video, was kind of hype about it, talking about this shit. We shouldn't have to argue who's the greatest ranger of all time when it's JDF, and yada yada yada. And I got in the comments, and again I was like, well, I don't know that to have ever been a conversation, so I didn't understand why we needed to do that. And I realized, and I said in the comments, I'm noticing that people back in the day, the whole time when I was watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, y'all was watching Tommy and the Rest. That was the name of the show, Tommy and the Rangers, or Tommy and the Rest. And it was like, I never realized how much people did not even notice or acknowledge the other Rangers. Now, I knew when I came into Power Rangers, though, everybody would have probably been more a Jason person. I was a Zach person. That was me, and not for the obvious reasons. Go into my catalog or watch anything Mighty Morphin Power Ranger later on this. I've already explained time and time again that it was more about the suit and the fact that I thought that this was like Voltron, and I thought the Black Lion, the black suit, was the leader, forgetting that Keith, even though he piloted the Black Lion, he wore red. All the colors didn't match in Voltron. So for me, I saw the visualization. He was my favorite color. Boom, let's go with it. And when he took off, when I realized which character he was, I was like, oh shoot, for real? And boom, I just ran with it. He was my favorite ranger, and to this day, my favorite ranger. My second favorite ranger, I'll let you know at the end of this. I think I've already expressed it before. Second to third rangers, favorite rangers. But boom. Now, I started noticing, especially since JDF passed, there's a lot of people that feels the need to exclaim how great of a ranger he was, which I don't knock. But a lot of them are juxtaposing it against the other Rangers, and it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth, because it seems like everybody wants to step on the other actors to prop up JDF when that wasn't needed. JDF was pretty much Saban's golden boy, and even for a little bit, Disney had to treat him like their golden boy and brought him back when they owned the property. So let's be for real. JDF wasn't without respect to the franchise, it's at least above all others. All personal inside business stuff aside, because some people will feel like, because JDF was the greatest ranger of all time, they should have given him damn near the franchise, and that's not how shit works. So there always going to be a conflict of interest and conversation and debate on whether or not Saban should have listened to JDF because he was the character for a long time and he knows the franchise better than, whatever argument you want to present as an excuse for why you feel that JDF should have basically been a creative advisor, as it were, for all things Power Rangers. That just wasn't gonna happen, and he didn't deserve that because he wasn't a creative. He was an actor. You know what I'm saying? But I'm noticing that people are misusing and mishandling his death, always feeling the need to use it as a reason to keep juxtaposing the character against everyone else when there's no need to. He's been on the series the longest. He's been since he came in. He came in with a better story arc. He came in with so much better so much better stories to spicing him up over all the other Rangers and dramatic beats that he's almost gotten boring now. Because it was like, what more can you do to him to keep showing that he's not only they're so great that he was even their greatest villain in a way, and in a lot of ways he was. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, as a Power Ranger fan, were you a Power Ranger fan or were you a Tommy and the Rangers fan? Because that's what I'm starting to notice, because there's a lot more people forcefully want to remind you that JDF was the greatest, almost as if that was ever an argument. And it could take the air out of the fandom, because just as when he passed, and may he rest in peace, a lot of people wanted to deep dive into his personal stuff. People want to always talk about JDF and the spice around him, as opposed to really just pushing forward with what he's done as a character on the series. If it's going to be all about Power Rangers, or if we're going to have the discussion about him as a person, talk about him and the positive things around him, as opposed to feeling the need to juxtapose him against any other person, almost for the spice of it, when there was no need for it, because he's been given all the greatest stories, plots, etc. So why do we need to really tap people on the shoulder that might be another Ranger, might be their favorite Ranger, to keep saying, hey, he's greater than this one, he's greater than this one? It's like, do you really want to argue? They written him that way. The comics are kind of boring because they always want to center it around the same old plot with him now. He's living in the shadow of being the greatest leader, and now they're going out of their way to throw so much story and plot points at Jason as the Red Ranger that it's so obvious that even he's becoming kind of boring. Because it's like, what can't he do? He's the new Death Ranger, and then you're going out of their way to give him so much story points that you're double backing and taking stories that you've given away from Zach to retrofit. Oh, well, Jason was with Trini first before that, even though we wrote the story that Jason and Trini ends up with each other. So if you're doing Mighty Morphin and you've seen a book like that, instead of throwing and peppering the seeds in there, so once we get to that point, it's not as such a surprise as that one-off book was. What you did was throw this out of the blue that Trini liked Jason, and Jason liked her, and the only reason why they couldn't be together was because Jason was conflicted as the leader. And it's like, what? You kind of softly make Jason look like a dick, even though they retrofitted it for it to be that way. It seemed like a dick move to just throw hot potato into the character Jason's hand, because you want to go out of your way to make Jason better than everyone else. And it's like, you already did that. So now you got to give him every interesting story. There was nothing you could have just left in the hands of the Black Ranger, because you're doing a lot to help Yellow Ranger, Tui's character, have a real strong necessity to the team, and giving her this storyline of now a Red Ranger, just because you wanted to juxtapose her and have this tension between her and Jason, so that you throw it into the Mighty Morphin series, and then you want to kind of pick it back up in the Omega Rangers, but make her his, like, if I'm gonna leave, the next person, basically your second in command, when your second in command was Zach, and that was from the series, which this book is supposed to be based off of. And I'm not mad that you want to try and do different things, but you you wrote him to almost to been approached to be the Green Ranger, and he was second in command, and you made him jealous of Jason. At some point, you should have addressed the fact that he should have been the new Red Ranger. If anyone was going to be a Red Ranger, you'd pass it to Zach. Why would you pass it to Trini? None of that was even in the series. So the fact that you're now retrofitting it into the Mighty Morphin when they had the color swap, and you threw pink on Zach's back because you wasn't going to throw pink on Jason. You wasn't going to do that, effeminize that one. So now you want to add this new layer between and link between red and yellow. Is now not just a Jason and Trini first thing that you want to throw out there, even though it wasn't really written chronologically, that you retrofitted that. Now you want to have this weird association there with them as well, so it to transfer in almost to the point to make sure that you're going out of your way not to level up Zach. But you would have rather had him jealous of Jason and been the first prospect to be evil, but never to be green. Ain't that some bullshit? Ain't that some bullshit? All to what? Make Zach look like a dick to Jason and give more drama to Jason's character. I mean, to Tommy's character, as opposed to, if you're gonna go this route, lean into it. If you're gonna say he was jealous of Jason and go to Zordon and say, how come you overlooked me to be red? To overlook him in the Omega book and never to address it. But the whole Omega book was just to address the fact how that one line that Tommy is a new leader of the Power Ranger once he became White Ranger. This is what you wrote the book to explain, and you still won't even explain, well, how could Zach not feel jealous towards Trini when again he's overlooked? Because he presented that to Zordon the first time, which just shows you that they could give a fuck about consistency with certain characters. Certain characters they don't give a fuck about. They have top billing to two main Rangers, to be quite honest, and we know who it is: Tommy and Jason and the rest. So the Omega Rangers is basically Jason and the rest, and the Power Rangers is really Tommy and the rest. And that's cool. But I'm noticing that's all you watched, because you don't notice how they fucked over Zach's character, and in a way Adam, by making Adam seem way more, especially in his how Zach spoke to Adam about Adam not finding his way as a Ranger, and Zach going out of his way to let it be known that I make jokes because I'm insecure, when that was never the character to begin with. So now you got both the Black Rangers looking like the lessers of the team, when that couldn't even be the furthest from the truth. Again, I love the fact that we're building up Kimberly, and she's about to get her one off. I love the fact that they're doing a lot with Trini, and Billy has arguably the best arc of all the Rangers, from series to show, from being the geek guy that couldn't fight to the guy that could fight, and kind of damn near became the Zordon of the team under Zordon and over Alpha. And while you have other characters that had stuff you've given them to that you could have built on, you dumb them down because, well, shoot, we got to give these any interesting story that needs to be developed and given an arc to will always go to Tommy or Jason. before anyone else, unless someone goes out their way to select Kim, who is the most popular female ranger, so they would do something with her. And Tui, who passed that, now they want to do something with her, so her legacy and her presence is always felt, which I love. And we already know Billy is the smartest ranger, so there's always stuff you could do with them. But Zach, Adam, Rocky, Aisha, Kat, they're the rest. They are definitely the rest. And that's fucked up because Zach was there before Tommy. But with that being said, let me know how you feel. Did you just all focus only on Tommy's character? Were you a Tommy and the rest watcher? Leave in the comments below and let me know and talk to me, man. We can shoot the shit. I got nothing against Tommy because, as I said to the end of the video, I'll let you know who my second and sometimes third favorite Power Ranger was. And it, by character, it would be Tommy. By namesake, it would probably be as White Ranger over Green Ranger, even though Green Ranger holds a special dear place in my heart. It was something about the White Ranger when he came in, and that suit. And then I would say Adam, and sometimes I bounce between Adam and that, and then Adam and that, and I will not lie, Jason as Gold Ranger, because I love the Gold Ranger suit. Love the character. And Jason was a little less different, little less, it's me, I'm in front. He was a cool addition as a guy that used to lead the team, but now he's coming in as your sixth ranger, your green guy, your guy off the bench that can lead when you need, because I've led this before. But more importantly, I'm your super guy. I am your game genie. You bring me in as your ultimate warrior to help you out of that jam. And they did that with him. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How do you feel? Did you watch Tommy and the Rangers, or did you watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Leave it in the comments below, man. And you already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. And as always, till I have a better outro. Chill.